Love, dating, and relationships on steroids. Welcome to the Lover List, where Reddit's juiciest love stories are served fresh daily. Hit that like button, drop a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications before love passes you by. What are some things you consider wife things instead of girlfriend things? Anything that's going to bind me to you financially is wife shit. Fair no shared finances for me. No shared accounts. No buying a house. No timeshare. No babies. No nothing that's gonna mean I have to keep talking to you after we break up. I like a clean break wherein I can go on about life like you never happened. LOL. Wife things, for me personally, buying a house together, having children. Totally agree with this. I know couples who do this while in a long-term boyfriend/girlfriend relationship, but I definitely think those things are wife things. Anecdotally, I know couples who got together at 35 plus that do those things together without being married because they see marriage as a thing for young adults or they have assets they want to protect from a potential divorce. Being considered next of kin when it comes to serious issues such as hospital or being arrested. Also, as a wife, I'd probably be able to make healthcare appointments for my spouse, something I am not able to do for my boyfriend, but my mom did for my dad all the time. This is a really long and complicated story, but when we were still dating, I got a call from my boyfriend's, now husband, dad. He left a voicemail that literally said, "Hey, just letting you know that .. has been arrested and is currently in police custody." What a wild day. For the record, it was a misunderstanding that led to a hefty payout that ultimately paid for my engagement ring. Honestly, what a great story to tell the grandkids someday, face with tears of joy, glad everything worked out for you. Cleaning up after a man. I mean, I didn't even do that shit as a wife, but I see far too many women fall into this trap. My niece and her friend literally decorate and clean their boyfriend's apartments for them, and they don't even live together. I try to tell them it's setting a bad precedent and things only get worse once you move in together, have kids, etc. But they don't listen to me. That's what I'm afraid of. Hopefully they will soon see that you know what you're talking about. Wife things, filing taxes as married versus single. That was my thought. Buying property together, combining bank accounts. Buying a house, getting pets together, having a joint, separate from own, bank account, being on each other's health insurance. This is generally true, but I have a friend who got on their partner's insurance as a domestic partner. No, they had not been living together 7 years, and no, it was not a blue state. It really depends on the company. My work insurance considers living together more than a year as eligible, so my ex was on mine right away. Obligation to attend family functions, combined bank accounts, having children are all wife activities in my eyes. Emphasis on obligation because ain't that the truth? Yeah, amen to that. My sister's boyfriend, with whom she's cohabitated for at least 3 years now, frequently misses family functions and no one bats an eye. Meanwhile, my husband of 2 years has to work during one family dinner and it's everyone's #1 conversation starter with me. Right. So my friend, 19F, recently just paid for her boyfriend, 24M, of 1 year's wisdom teeth surgery. $3,500 right there. This is absolutely wife-type behavior. She also wakes him up in the morning, drives him to work, picks him up, buys groceries, etc. Recently went on a double date with them and she paid for their meal. I suspect she pays for their meals quite more often than she lets on in our conversations. I have expressed my thoughts multiple times at her inquiry, but she just continues. Has anyone told her that she shouldn't adopt a son who is older than her? I was gonna say, she sounds more like his mom than his girlfriend. There is no real difference for me, as someone older and married, and in the relationship for 13 years now. The switch from living together for 7 years and then getting married didn't change a thing in the relationship, and we didn't behave any differently. We didn't even change names. It basically only changed the tax. To us, it was important to be very committed from the beginning of the relationship. Due to bad things happening, my husband ended up on the street, so he had to move in with me quickly. He has mental health issues and can't work due to that, so he always was highly dependent on me. And we were sure to marry one day after the first 6 months of our relationship. but I wanted to wait a few years until adding the legal commitments. It's a good thing to live together before marriage, because if a couple doesn't and realizes they aren't compatible in day-to-day life just after the wedding, that's a huge problem. Living together ensures a certain compatibility before signing legal papers. Same for us, we got married last year after 8 years of being together. 5 of them we lived together. Nothing changed, just now we have a ring each, some photos to remember a nice day, a piece of paper and a different box to tick on different types of forms. Well, since I have been with my husband for almost 10 years, have a 15-year-old child with him, own a home with him, have lived with him our entire relation and refer to him as my husband and myself as his wife, though technically we are not legally married, I don't think there is a difference at all. Real estate mainly, but also am not moving to another city or country for a boyfriend, I'll think about it for marriage, and money. Speaking of money, shared finances is some wife shit too. Frankly, the way men my age act, they want wife-level commitment from me while keeping things chill on their side. Like they think anything beyond midnight booty calls is too much commitment on their end, but they want me to call them and listen to them vent all the time. The sex isn't even that good. I'm enjoying my cat lady life RN. Bathroom-related embarrassments. Some women get so concerned about childbirth and potentially pooping in front of their partner. We've been married 8 years and both my births, my husband stayed at my head and was unaware about any poop. Both times I was like LOL I for sure pooped FYI. Wife things means no shame. All of this, but I specifically came to this thread to say shaving my SO's back is definitely wife-only territory LOL. Well, they're different legal statuses. Wife things are like automatically inheriting your spouse's estate if they die with no inheritance tax. YMMV depending on local laws. Now that I think of it, a lot. There's a lot of stuff I wouldn't/didn't do as a girlfriend and I do as a wife. Financial and legal and to an extent medical things. So, for example, since we are married all of our finances are commingled. Some married people keep them separate, but in my case we had them separate before married and together once we were married. It was just easier for us. I would never have a joint bank account with him when we were living together but not married. And, similarly, legal docs, so signing in the house, setting up the trust, I did all of that, as in I did the legwork to get it all done and had him come too, which I would not have done if we weren't married. And some medical stuff. So, for example, I will schedule his doc appointments, pick up prescriptions, yell at the insurance company for not covering squat. I call his mom to make sure we all still stay in touch. I didn't do that when we were boyfriend/girlfriend. She wasn't my family in any way, so I guess I didn't feel the need to. I also handle all of our car stuff, like oil changes, which I never did before, but now I care that his car stays well maintained. I don't really see a difference in things between wife and girlfriend, especially as I've gotten older. I think it's a different kind of relationship altogether, so I don't compare them against each other. A wife is a commitment with a legal contract. A girlfriend is a commitment without a legal contract. In my 30s now, and the only difference between being a girlfriend and being a wife is the legal contract. Same here. I think the longer/more committed a relationship gets changes things more than just a legal contract. Like as a girlfriend, you may not feel obligated to go to every family event or invest too much into their future if you haven't been together that long. But a longer-term girlfriend and wife would both act pretty similarly minus the tax status and other marriage-only stuff. For me, living together and buying a home together. Too messy for me personally if not married. I just saw my niece-in-law go through a mess because she lived with a guy, the father of her children, for years and they bought a house together and now she's scrambling trying to get things put in her name etc. because they were never married and he passed away. It's not a morals issue for me. It's just a legal thing. I just think it's impractical to be tied up with somebody financially when you're not married. Man, I got into a fight with my boyfriend the other day. We live together. I considered breaking up, really bad fight, and realized that untangling ourselves would be a mess. Who paid for what? What's mine? What's yours? Living together is a mess regardless. Just going to add in that I would still not 100% combine finances as a wife. Joint account for expenses/savings goals like retirement and property/some investing. Leave my discretionary money alone. I don't want to be mad when you buy something dumb. And you can't be mad when I buy something dumb. Oh, and as someone who worked retail, I've encountered situations where a partner is trying to be nice and say they will buy something as a gift for the person shopping. Literally heard it's not really a gift when it's my money too. That's probably indicative of other problems/attitudes in the relationship, but I want to be able to do nice things or have someone do nice things for me without resentment. And basic life skills, I like cooking but we are taking turns, don't care what the relationship status is. Buying a house and starting a family together. It's probably my most conservative opinion. There's a reason for it though. I'm not conservative in many ways, but these are some of them. The vulnerability involved in pregnancy and parenting is not something to make light of. The financial burdens of all of that and of property ownership is not something to be undertaken without some serious legal protections. Hell, if I ever had to date again, I wouldn't even cohabitate without marriage. Just not worth it. Anything that's binding, buying a house, having children, joint bank accounts. No stopping working. Absolutely no being financially dependent. I'd also say no moving in together, but I also think it's beneficial to live together before marrying, so I make this a no moving in together until engagement. By moving in together, you're essentially marrying, but without the legal securities a marriage brings. Not to mention the possibility that he may treat a dating relationship less seriously than a marriage, and if he fucks up, you're stuck in a lease with an asshole. I've seen enough Reddit horror stories. Thank you. On the same note, absolutely no moving away from my family and friends. I'm not moving anywhere more than 1 hour away unless married. No big or long-term expenses either. No paying off debts, buying a car, paying for education, or anything like that. The only exception I'd make for this would be paying for trips. Also no putting a boyfriend before my family. Family comes before anything. A husband is family. A boyfriend is not. Related to that obligation to attend family functions, or of taking them to family functions. When you start making long-term decisions that will affect both parties and can have lasting consequences with her, it means you're invested in this person in more than one way, and I think that's a key difference between a wife and a girlfriend, even if marriage isn't involved. I don't want to get married or have kids, so there's nothing that I wouldn't do solely because we haven't signed a contract. We keep our finances separate but have a shared investment that we'll use to eventually buy a house. We're in for the long run and we work every day towards the forever goal. Everything else doesn't matter. It took him almost 10 years to propose. I feel as though giving him the wife experience with the girlfriend title didn't help my situation. I was cooking/baking for him, packing his lunch, cleaning up after him, and cleaning his house, doing his laundry, ironing his clothes along for his family. I was a servant, that was for me at least. His family started expecting for me to do shit I didn't even do for my family, nor did he do for me. I thought swallowing my pride, allowing him and his whole family to walk all over me, that it showed him that I'm a great wife because I'll never stir a problem. Yeah, no, don't do that. I wish I can go back in time. I would have let him go to better ourselves, seek therapy. Then maybe, but please don't wait for 10 years. Just leave. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Love and Relationship Stories. If you enjoyed hearing these intriguing tales, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. Don't miss out on any future episodes, subscribe now and turn on the notification bell to stay updated. Your support helps us bring you more of the love, dating and relationship stories that you love.